I love this guy. He's one of my favorite guests that we've ever had in the 5+ year of doing this show. You could see him on ESPN on Get Up, and as a Thursday night college football analyst. His show is on YouTube, DAZN and Westwood One every single day from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern time, and he is the last losing punter in a Miami Super Bowl. None other than Pat McAfee. How are you, Pat?
I am great, Rich. Thank you for having me. This is an incredible setup. You had to mention the last Super Bowl here in Miami.
Well, I mean, I'm just spitting facts. I mean, I figured, you know, if there's an elephant in the room, you just got to address it.
Yeah, I hate
Otherwise,
this place.
it could be really awful.
Yeah, I hate it. I mean, I hate this place. I talked to Drew Brees this morning.
Yeah, he was just stopping. He was just here, as a
I
matter
heard
of
he
fact.
was right here. Stone Street was here. You
Yes.
had a stacked lineup. The Rich Eisen Show brings out all the best in people. We're in a parking garage in Miami. It is 700 degrees, and you have a packed house, Rich. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
These are all facts. These are all
But
facts that you're spitting. Yes.
I talked to Drew Brees.
Yeah?
We had a 20-minute conversation. We settled the beef of what he did to me when I was 22 years old.
What did he do to you?
Well, him and that stupid baby, I told you about it. They were up on that Jumbotron as I was walking off the field.
Yeah.
And I was a rookie, and I've talked to you about this before.
But please, for those who might not know, refresh.
We won 14-0 that year. I was drafted to play alongside, not alongside. I was on the same team as Peyton Manning. I was just kind of being dragged along.
Excuse me, you were providing Peyton Manning with the premium field position
Well,
from
not
which
really.
he could dominate.
Not really. I stunk at punting. Yeah, I was not good.
Okay.
Bill Polian, when he drafted me to punt, literally said, "We think you're athletic enough to figure it out." I was like, "Well, damn, we're going to find out, aren't we, pal?" And I wasn't. But we made the Super Bowl, which tells you all you need to know about punting.
Yeah.
But as I was walking off that field, and that was the best team I've ever been a part of, still to this day, that rookie year.
Sure.
We won 14-0. We didn't lose until we chose to lose. Then we
That's
made
true.
the run through the playoffs. Then we obviously ultimately lose to Drew Brees for a lot of different reasons. A lot of people get blamed for that loss. I am not one of them, so that is okay with me. But as I was walking off of the field,
Yes.
and Drew Brees and his baby were up on that Jumbotron and confetti was flying,
Yes.
I walked into the most miserable locker room I've ever been in my entire life.
Yes.
Whenever you lose, people are upset. But after that Super Bowl loss, I had never walked into a collective group of humans that were that miserable. And I was like, guys, no big deal. We'll just come back next year. Guys, don't worry about it. We'll come back the year after that, then the year after that. We'll do this every single February. This will be something we just do.
And then?
We never made it back, Rich. And 3 years later, we were almost completely defeated with Curtis Painter, Kerry Collins, and Dan Orlovsky as a quarterback.
Yes.
And then Andrew Luck came to town, and we were close, but we never made it back. And that's why these games are so special, because you ultimately, and I think the Patriots have kind of debunked this theory, it is very, very hard to get to the Super Bowl. So everybody's talking about how loaded this Chiefs team is and how young and great this 49ers team is, and I
Right.
agree with both of those things. It is very hard to get to the Super Bowl. I was only at one. I was 22. I was intoxicated for most of the week, and then the only thing I remember is that Drew Brees and his baby took all of our happiness, and we never made it back. That's all I remember for the whole thing.
And then that baby is the one he just brought with him to the Pro Bowl, as I
Yeah.
think is an 11-year-old now.
hang out with
Lamar
Lamar Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah.
It's amazing how the time flies, man.
That kid's more athletic than I am. That kid's going to have a better athletic career than I am. And I think the thing about Drew Brees...
You're talking about Balin Breeze? You're talking about
baby, yeah.
or Lamar Jackson?
Well, he...
Yeah, okay.
Obviously.
Understood.
Obviously. What the hell is going on? Is there a concert happening on the other side of this parking
What
garage?
this is it's synergy, Pat. It's
Who?
synergy. Synergy. No, that's not the name of the band. There's a Sunday Ticket, an NFL Sunday Ticket sort of space behind us. There's BR Gridiron over in the corner.
Okay.
And then there's Dan Patrick's show that is being broken down right now because he's done for the week over
Well-
there. And then there's us that we're alive with you right now. And then, by the way, I'll use this as a moment to tease the fact that you're going to stick around through the break and kick off the next hour.
You're damn right I am.
Yes, in which, let me make sure I get this right because I can read these names. A guy named Tua, who I've heard of. He'll stop by.
Tonga Valoa.
Yep.
Nailed it.
He's good at the football.
Very, very
He's
good.
good at the
Very
football.
good
And
at
then,
the football.
and then
He was
someone,
originally a righty. His dad tied his arm to his body. He became a lefty. That's a true story. So he has been dominant in college football with his wrong hand.
did your dad tie you,
To a
tie your
fence.
leg?
No, he tied me to a fence. You remember this story. Yeah, he did. He tied me to a fence. Because I was playing
Forgot about
soccer.
that.
Yeah, I played soccer growing up, but I flinched, and he taped me to a fence and threw balls at me and said, "It's not that bad, is it?" I was like, "Well, the duct tape just ripped all the hair off my arm, but it's not too shabby."
And then Deontay Wilder stops by later on in hour number 2.
He's a tough guy.
He's good at the boxing.
Hey, what do they call him? The Bomber.
Bomb Squad.
That's right.
The Bomber, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Let's get to the poll question when I want to get
Let's do
to.
it.
Because as you know, in the radio business, these are reads and these are sponsors that are associated with parts of the program.
yeah. Hey, little behind the scenes there.
It's real. Let you know how the sausage gets made. Capital One has reimagined banking by offering savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums. One of the nation's best savings rates. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Ask Pat the poll question, our final poll question of the week here in Miami.
What is Capital One doing? No fees.
No fees, no minimums.
Huge.
I don't know how they make any money.
Hey, Pat, breaking news. The Super Bowl is in 2 days.
There you have it.
2 of them.
2 days. What's going to happen? Chiefs win big, Chiefs win close, 49ers big, or 49ers in a close one?
I think the Chiefs win by more than 1.5. That
Now that's odd that you would give us that total a spread. Like, I've never seen half points on a board.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I think they're
Pat?
going to win
I
by
don't
more than
understand.
1.5.
I don't
And
understand.
that might be my bank account. I took
Now,
out.
does that mean your bank account goes over?
Well,
Is that what you're saying too?
you know, Rich, whenever I retired, they told me I'm going to have to save my money. Okay?
Yeah.
But I thought a good way to make all the money that I made kicking would be gambling on the sport that I know so much about. And this particular football season has been very kind to me. I've done
It
very
has.
well.
No
Very, very
kidding.
well on FanDuel. I've done very, very well.
Okay.
But this Super Bowl, I am taking everything that I've won
Yes.
and I am doubling down. I am James Holzhauer on Jeopardy, double or nothing, putting it all in, and I put it on the Chiefs minus 1.5, and I feel very good about it, to be honest with you. I feel very. My mom is going to hate this conversation, by the way, because the fact that I'm wearing sunglasses in here, she's going to think I'm either on some vitamins or hungover, and really, it's just because there is a light. There's
Yes.
just lights
They're
everywhere.
so bright.
And we're in a parking garage, and it's Miami.
Yes.
This guy knows. Look at those glasses.
Of course I'm wearing them.
Who do you
Pat.
think's got it?
Why would you think that your mom would think that you're on some sort of supplement?
Vitamins?
Yeah, some sort of. Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about making sure that your vitamin D is
No,
there.
it's vitamins T, vitamin H, and vitamin C. And my mother doesn't know much about the journalism world. She only has a couple rules.
Big J.
Big J, my mom
Right.
doesn't know much about it. She only has a couple rules.
Right.
Okay? Don't false quote somebody,
Sure.
and don't wear sunglasses on TV.
But it's very bright in here.
It's very-
And
It is,
I will,
it's Miami.
I will say, what's your mom's name?
Sally.
Sally. I'm addressing camera now. Is that my American Sally? He seems very reasonable. It's just very bright in here. And I do like the look that you got going on right now, Pat.
Thank you.
I think you gelled up just specifically for this appearance, if I'm
Yep.
not mistaken. Or is that you did that for the ESPN appearance today?
I did it at 5 a.m. for Get Up, but hey, for this show, I redid it while walking in. You
That's
know what
next
I mean?
level.
Yeah,
That's-
see?
yeah, that's
see,
next
for the Rich
level.
Eisen show.
Yeah, you know,
It
that's
seems like
Pat.
there's more 49ers fans here than
Yeah, we do
Chiefs
have.
fans.
Well, we got our buddy Brian from LA, the Chiefs fan right there. There's a few more. Okay, so stay right where you are if you don't mind.
Let's do it. This
There you
show's
go.
awesome.
Kick back. There we go. Fun first hour. Eric Stone Street was here, and then Drew Brees stopped by, and Christian McCaffrey came by, and then America's sweetheart Pat McAfee is here, and he's
What
gonna,
a dump off.
he's gonna no. Hey, look, nobody showed up with for the brand apparel
That's
and
my
a
guy.
flag like this dude did
That's my
for
guy. He
Breeze or
spent
Stone
money on
Street.
our website. He's a
And
good
then
guy.
when we come back, Tua and Deontay Wilder will also be here with Pat McAfee, hour one in the books of our last day in Miami.
Great show, Rich. Really good.
Hour number 2 of day number 5 here at the Miami Honda studio. We are on floor number 7 of a parking garage hanging out with Pat McAfee, which is exactly how I want to be. Where else would I rather be than right here, right now? Good to see you,
Hey,
Pat
who's got it
McAfee.
better than us, huh?
Nobody.
Buddy.
And later on in this hour, Tua Tagovailoa will be stopping by. Deontay Wilder, the WBC heavyweight champion, will be here as well. Hour 3. We'll finish things up with Chris Brockman giving us one final Super Bowl news update, and then Joe Burrow, Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, and first overall pick of the upcoming draft, as we all expect him to be. He will be here. Eric Stone Street was here to kick off our show. Drew Brees just popped in and just hung out, and then Pat McAfee stopped by after Christian McCaffrey. If you missed all or any of that, go to our YouTube page to check things out. Did I do that right, Pat?
You nailed it.
Is
You nailed it.
Well, that's where people check out the Pat McAfee show, so far, am I right?
I've become a YouTuber over the last couple months, and although I might have been embarrassed of that in the past, very proud of the fact that we are YouTubers, you and I, Rich
Okay,
Eisen.
so people can go follow the Pat McAfee Show on their YouTube page, the Rich Eisen Show on our YouTube page.
Are these people serious honking like this?
Dude, I'm
we're in the
telling you.
middle of a YouTube ad.
We are.
Okay?
It has been nonstop all week. Just have, we've been up here.
It's been crazy.
What goes on in the street down there?
It's nuts.
I mean, and
Sirens.
it's nonstop sirens and everything too.
Nonstop.
You ever
So
seen
loud.
Cocaine Cowboys?
I
There's a
have,
lot
yes.
that goes on these streets.
I did.
It's a great show.
Isn't that Billy Corbin's?
Yeah, that's the guy that did Screwball,
sure.
I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Miami guy, as you know.
Yeah.
Griselda's not down there right now, though.
I mean, what is going on down there? But at any rate, we're thrilled to be up here.
By the way, it
Thrilled to
makes
be
a
with
lot of
you.
sense.
Yes.
The Honda studio in a parking garage. See?
Look at that.
mean,
you know
see?
what? Synergy. That's an
You
applause
see?
line
Yeah.
if I've ever heard of
See what
one.
we did?
For my car brand right here on the Rich Eisen Show. I appreciate that. You can watch, by the way, DirecTV 4K is how you can watch the big game coming up on Sunday night. DirecTV is the leader in 4K live sports, and with 4K you get nearly 4 times the display resolution of HD, an immersive home viewing experience, and you get to watch live sports like never before. And if you don't have 4K, go to att.com/Eisen4K for more information. All right, now let's get into this game, Pat.
Let's dive in.
You said earlier that you like the Chiefs, and you like the Chiefs by at least a certain margin. That a certain town where this draft is going to be said that there was a certain margin.
Factual.
Okay, why do you think that?
I just think in 2020, and I said this earlier to Matt Patricia on my show, that in 2020, I feel like the way the rules are in the NFL, okay? Whether it's for safety, whether it's for fantasy football, whatever it is, I feel as if the rules of the game right now are slighted towards the offense. And I understand that back in the day, defense won championships, and I
Yes.
think that's a very accurate statement for back in the day. But now I feel like if you have a great offense, with the way the game is set up, I think you can win any game that you could possibly want to win. And 5 of the last 7 Super Bowls have hit the over, okay? Last Super Bowl was such a dud, that everybody forgets that normally in these Super Bowls, a lot of points are scored.
Yes.
And for me, I just think potentially the most lethal offense in the history of the NFL, taking on this dominant defense in the year 2020, I think that Patrick Mahomes and the boys are just going to be too much. But I could see how the Niners could win. It's going to be close. That's why I picked them to win by at least 1.5.
And it's interesting. We had Warren Sapp here on Monday, and he said years ago when we were doing NFL Game Day Morning together, defense no longer wins you championships. He says defense gives you a chance. Offense wins you championships, is what he said.
I think you have to have a powerhouse on the offensive side of the ball. I think it's just become that style of play. Everything's become quicker, Now, granted, Lamar Jackson has kind of taken that back, right? They're ground and pound, but they're still putting up a lot of points, and the offense still controls that play. I just think we live in an offensive world, and to me, it'd be very, very cool to see Andy Reid get that massive monkey off his back, and while doing so, leading the Kansas City Chiefs to the Super Bowl for the first time in 50 years, and also getting a win. I just think all cards are kind of set towards that, but from what Schefter told, according to my sources, he said that the Chiefs team is very confident and they feel as if they already got it. That kind of scares me a little bit, but I think that's how they operate. I think the Niners defense is going to be, a hell of a show, but I do think the Chiefs got it.
Pat McAfee here on the Rich Eisen Show, and I'm finally here on Friday, and I'm just going to let myself go. I think, and I said this, and Brockman gave me a.
Oh, wait a minute! You've been holding off for this.
Well, I have, because I've been.
This is a super hot take.
That Mahomes is the
Super
most
hot
talented quarterback that's ever played in the Super Bowl.
Does Terry Bradshaw know that you said this?
I didn't say he's the winningest. I didn't say he's the winningest, or that I say he's the most talented. That brings a skill set that nobody else has had, from the arm, from the legs, from the neck up, from everything.
What about Kurt Warner?
Well, Kurt couldn't escape the pocket like Mahomes.
Are you saying Kurt Warner's a slow old white guy?
I didn't say that. You just said that. His nickname, he likes to tell us, was named Houdini. But yeah, when he was in 1999, he couldn't escape the pocket like Mahomes can.
I think that's a very accurate statement. By the way,
Elway could throw it like Mahomes, and Elway could run it like Mahomes. You could say Elway is who he's supplanting, but Elway when he, I mean. You can make that case.
Yeah, but you can say
Steve Young, who I'm going to be with on the honor stage tomorrow night.
Aaron Rodgers.
Did you
Dan
talk
Marino?
about Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, what about Aaron Rodgers?
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just. I'm saying this is what I believe.
That's one of my favorite things you've ever done. That's one of my favorite things you've ever done.
And the reason why I'm saying this is I just think that it's Mahomes' moment. That Sunday night's Mahomes' moment. And some of the plays that we see, like the wow, flipping it with his left hand, the wow, he's running around 15 yards here and then 12 yards there and throws it like on a line to the back part of the end zone on a frozen rope. He does that in front of 120 million Americans on Sunday, and we're going to start talking about him in the manner in which I'm currently talking
and then
about.
how about he does everything you're saying and then throws it 75 yards on a rope to Tyreek Hill busting through that cover
Correct.
3.
Like all of the Mahomes things that we've seen him do in his first year and a half or year and 3 quarters as starter. Obviously he missed 3 games this year. That's what I'm saying.
It's year 3, right, for him? Now, the first year, I would have loved to seen him on the practice squad, by the way. I couldn't even fathom what he was like in practice against that Kansas City Chiefs defense. They had to be like when he finally got his chance to play against the Broncos, I believe, last week of that rookie season.
They wet his beak in week 16 of his rookie season.
Which, by the way, was ultimately the reason why Andy Reid decided to keep him and let Alex Smith go. Alex Smith is back next year, by the way. Let's remember that. But whenever they let Alex Smith go, everybody's very confused. I like to think of the Kansas City Chiefs defenders that were just getting cooked by Patrick Mahomes all like 15 weeks of that or whatever.
Right.
And then finally the next year when he comes out and becomes MVP, they're like, I tried saying this guy he is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's absolutely unbelievable. Everything you just said is 100% accurate. Watching him, the only thing I think that could slow him down is if he gets a little tight, right?
Sure.
Anybody that plays that loose and that style, but it looks like whenever they're down 24-0, they're down 10-0 in these biggest moments, he's like a maestro to the crowd. He's feeling it, he's vibing it, he's showtime, it's real.
Right.
I think on that big stage, he's going to show up and show out. And I think Andy Reid also has some new play designs that he beautiful-minded on a dry erase board that he's going to be able to really make some magic happen out there.
Pat McAfee of the Pat McAfee Show, ESPN and more right here on the Rich Eisen Show. You tweeted out today that you saw Schefter sending out an email that said Tom Brady on it, right?
That was a subject line.
Okay. Now, Brady is here in Florida. Apparently, he was golfing yesterday.
Well, he might play for the Dolphins next year.
I don't know about that. But I think he's going to be here as part of the NFL 100 all-time team celebration that's part of the Super Bowl and all sorts of stuff. So
Are you at that?
I'm not. I'm going to be at the Super Bowl, but I don't think I'm part of the NFL 100 all-time teams thing.
Me neither.
They will.
Me neither. Shane Leckler.
How did you not? He did, by the way. Leckler and Ray Guy made it.
Yeah, I'm indifferent on Ray Guy.
I know you are. What? Because he slighted you one day, right?
Yeah, on his award. Yeah.
He kind of gave you the Heisman. He gave you the Ray Guy. Gave you the Heisman.
He flew me down for the Ray Guy award.
Right.
In college.
Right.
And out of the nation's punters, we weren't the right 3 finalists.
Right.
We weren't the right 3. But out of the 3 finalists, I was clearly the winner.
Yeah.
Had to rent a suit for this thing. My mom and dad had to call off work. We go down to Orlando, sit through all this crap, and he gives the award to somebody he was friends with. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Ray Guy's dead to me. So, Ray Guy out, Shane Leckler in. I love Shane Leckler. I talked to him.
By the way, you said me saying I'm not saying I'm right was your favorite thing you've heard me say. Ray Guy's dead to me may be the favorite thing I've ever heard you say. I mean, that's
Shane
that's what he
Leckler's the
said.
GOAT.
But in terms of Brady, man, he put up a photograph on his social media feeds that's kind of the Laurel Yanny of photographs, where you're trying to figure. We all look at it and see something different.
By the way, that was blue and black, that dress.
Okay, exactly. It's that type of version of a post of him. We assume that's Gillette. Is he, in your mind, walking into Gillette, which we would all assume meaning he's going to stay a Patriot? Or do you think this is a photograph of him leaving Gillette and we all read into the fact that he's leaving the Patriots? Pat McAfee, your thoughts?
Can I please say that I love everything Tom Brady has done?
Okay.
His post-game press conferences, his social media, the season press conference, wrap-up press conference, everything he's done has been cerebral and deliberate,
yes.
Okay? Setting him up for this opportunity that he hasn't had for 20 years. His social media team is second to none. And I have a good social media team. His social media team is very intelligent, very bright, and they've made Tom Brady look like a relatable human, and he's an alien. Tom Brady is an alien. So I think his social media team is absolutely incredible. If you live on the internet for any time, you know that you're a detective, you're an investigator. You have to look up other photos. Tom Brady wears his watch on his left hand.
Okay.
It is very clear that he's wearing a very massive, expensive watch on his left hand. He is walking into that stadium there. But Who says that isn't from a commercial saying, sometimes you got to take one last trip home before you hit the road? Who says, right? Who says that this isn't just going to be more of these calibrated, cerebral, string people along type posts from Tom Brady? And I wouldn't expect the Super Bowl commercial to be any different because the guy has played this thing perfectly, and that's why he's the GOAT on the field, and now he's the GOAT in free agency.
Or he's wearing his. You don't see the watch on the proper hand here. And that looks like to me like he's walking out of that stadium. I mean, his foot that's on his left foot, if he's walking out of the stadium, or his right if he's walking in, that foot looks like it is been picked up. Like he is walking out, man.
2-3 weeks ago on the
out
internet
of the stadium. To me, that does not look like that foot is being lifted up to walk in. That would be a very odd sort of foot
he's Tom Brady.
position.
He's Tom Brady. He does things differently.
He's an alien, right?
But 2-3 weeks ago on the internet, I don't know, Brock might have seen this, TJ probably saw it. There was a guy on a swing. Did you see this? And you didn't know if you were swinging towards the building or swinging away from the building.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, it took over, it captivated the internet.
Yeah.
Just like this has.
Yes.
I believe the detectives of the internet that say they think he's walking in here with the watch opportunity. But I think this is going to play into a bigger play that's still going to string people along and have no idea. And ultimately leave New England Patriots fans completely befuddled about the entire situation.
Well, Chris, what do you think?
I just tweeted out with this picture yesterday, WTF is this? Because like it was just screwing with everybody's mind.
I love
Tom
it.
Curran said the same thing. He's just effing with us right now. He's just having fun with all of this.
Is it not perfect, though?
It's just like Tom has been playing the last couple of seasons.
Well, then he goes to that fight, talks to the guy with the terrible haircut. All of a sudden, bang, he's going to Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
Then now he's down here in Miami for the top 100 team. All he's got to do is, dap up Brian Flores one time. Ooh, he's the quarterback of the Dolphins. He has played this thing perfectly. He could end up at like 7 different teams, and everybody would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
There was a rumor yesterday he was in Tennessee looking at houses.
And schools. Yeah, this is awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that starts Monday, by the way. Congrats to whoever wins the Super Bowl. You get about 4 hours of celebration because Monday morning is where is Tom Brady going?
What did I say to you about the fourth storyline of the week would be above Jimmy G? It would be Tom Brady's future.
He did it last night.
And again, we here on this show know how you if you enjoy busting the balls of your fellow mates on the air, and I'm sure
That's
you do.
all we do.
Okay, we do it with each other about being somewhat hypocritical. So I ask you, sir, Mr. Brockman, what if J.J. Watt had posted a photograph just like this one 2 days before the man who he was reported to have demanded to be sent out of town to maintain his space on his team in New England? What if J.J. Watt had tweeted out this just right at the end of that Super Bowl week?
This
What
little
would you
thirst
said?
trap? What would you have said? Would you said, this attention-seeking guy? Is that what you would have said, Brock?
How many rings does J.J. Watt have?
Is that a response? Is that
It's a great response. It's a great response. It's really good. Hey, by the way, Jimmy G wins. He has 3 Super Bowl rings.
That's what I've been saying.
Oh, my God.
He has 3. Him, who? Terry Bradshaw? No, Terry Bradshaw's got 4.
He's got 4.
No, but he
Montana's
now
got 4.
He bests Peyton Manning and Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger.
Drew Brees. Pat
Brees.
McAfee. You know what I mean?
So
What were you doing?
close.
What were you
So
doing
close,
before I let you go, sir? What were you doing the Friday before the Super Bowl in Miami 10 years ago today?
Oh, we had it locked down. Early in the week, though, we
hit it.
We hit it. Peyton Manning had us out the first night we landed. It was like Sunday or Monday. I forget which one it was. Took us out to a dinner, and then we kind of had a couple drinks afterwards. And then Tuesday, I went out with the defense. That was a much different evening. Hit up a couple of adult ballets. And then Wednesday, we kind of locked it down all the way through. And I was on a very veteran-led team, so it was kind of lead by example, but got the partying out of the way early. And then we kind of tried to focus as much as we possibly could on the biggest game of my life. And ultimately, we lost. And, this city stinks. I did. I like this city. It's really good. They didn't deserve that.
Oh, my God. It's funny when El Zuro, my Rich Eisen show researcher, gives me a card about everybody's accolades and things that you do. You have so many of things that's going on with you, Pat. I'm so thrilled with what you have made yourself and what you are. College football analyst on Thursday night for ESPN. You're on Get Up, the Pat McAfee Show on YouTube, DAZN and Westwood 1, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern every single day. You've got your pod, too, right? The Pat McAfee Show 2.0.
Nailed it.
You've got going on.
Yep.
And then 8 seasons in the NFL, 2-time Pro Bowler, first-team All-Pro, AFC champion in 2009.
Oh.
Hold on a minute. College football at West Virginia. This is what it says. First team All-American, 2008.
Thank you.
Ray Guy finalist, 2008. That's a story that's at the very bottom of the card.
Ray Guy's dead to me. But the punter of the decade, too, please.
Punter of the decade from Pro Football Focus.
Hey, those numbers don't lie.
Hey, Collinsworth's no slouch, and the
Hey,
people that they got with the slide rules there.
I'll
man.
say this with the Pro Football Focus.
Yeah.
Judging defense and offense is difficult because you don't know what everybody's responsibilities are on each play. Okay, so you don't know if a safety's supposed to cover for a corner or not. So they might get that wrong every once in a while.
Yeah.
Kicking and punting is pretty clear cut. Pro Football Focus looks at every single rep. They don't lie.
No, they don't lie.
Punter of not the day,
Not the week, not the month,
not the year.
not the year. No.
10 of them. Decade.
Decade, everybody.
Feels pretty
Punter of
good.
the
It's honor to
decade.
be here. Thank you so
Pat
much.
McAfee, right
Rich,
here on the Rich
hey,
Eisen Show. Yes,
You're
sir.
a legend. Whoever drops you is a buffoon, and you're going to strive and
Thanks,
crush
buddy.
because your
Yep.
team is great. Your show is great. I've been watching you since I was a kid. Thank you so much for having me
Anytime.
in this miserable heat right in this parking garage. You're the absolute best.
At Pat McAfee Show on Twitter and Instagram.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.